All right. Buenos días. Buenos días. How we doing? Welcome back. Good evening from Saudi Arabia. Damn. Let's get ready to rumble is right. Let's get ready to rumble. Morning. Buenos días, amigo. Que lo que. How's everyone doing? VSM, baby. Violence, speed, momentum. Can we get 500 likes before 8:05? I doubt it. I doubt it. Am I Spanish? No. Nope. Thanks, Chef. Yeah, I'm going again today. I got a big golf trip in August. August? Yeah, August. And I want to make sure I'm ready to go. 3 days, Colorado. Gonna go head out with some friends in Colorado and golf for 3 days in the mountains. So that'll be I want to make sure I'm at the top of my game. So I got 2 months. I got 2 months to prepare 2K likes and I'll rip my shirt off? Sure. Sure. I'm already getting an alert that there's not enough, it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Yeah, we'll see. This happened last time. CPI gets a little crazy on these days. Sometimes the internet. If we get over like 2,500 people in here last time, the whole thing shut down. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not really a Miami fan. I'm a New York fan. I'm a New York guy. New York sports. Rangers, Giants, Mets. So, yeah. All right. Let's get started. So, 8:03, June 13th, CPI. We are going to basically look at futures and look at the projections, the forecasts before CPI is released. I don't have like a set schedule today because it's going to be all over the place, because we're going to look at futures, then we're going to get CPI, then we're going to have to look at futures again, and then we'll end the stream with just looking at the reactions on some individual stocks. So it's going to be a little hectic today. Hopefully you guys get some value out of the live stream. We will start by looking at the futures today. Then we'll look at the CPI projections and et cetera, et cetera. Then 8:30, we will get the big event. So 8:30, CPI is released in about 25 minutes. And at that point, we're going to have to react to what the market shows us. All right. Again, market reaction, right? That's the key, reacting to the market. You know what? Let's start with the projections. So we'll do that. Let's start shortly. We'll wait a few more minutes for some more to step in, and we will get started shortly on this. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Thanks, Jay Price, little dono for your first sleeve of golf balls. Yeah, I'm gonna need it, Jay. I've actually improved quite a bit with losing balls, so hopefully one sleeve's definitely not enough for 3 days. That would be pretty crazy if it was. I appreciate that, Jay, as always. All right, let's get started. Whose birthday is it? Someone's birthday? Happy birthday, Steven. I don't know who that is, but my birthday. Oh, all right, Steven. Happy birthday, man. You got a good birthday. CPI day. Hopefully it's a good one for you. All right, let's do it. So here's today. Here is the projections. Let's start with the projections. So, this is CPI year over year, right? This is just CPI year over year. This is including food and energy, right? Core is excluding food and energy. So let's start with the CPI. Now, the first thing I realized, what the hell is going on here? Why? All right. So the first thing that I realized about this morning's projections is they're very aggressive. The forecast for today is for us to go down 0.9 basis points, 0.9% on CPI. That is versus the previous forecast. Versus the actual 0.8. So this is a pretty aggressive forecast. If you look at the previous forecasts, right, 6%, it went down 0.8. So this one was pretty aggressive here. This one went down 0.2. This one went down 0.2. This one went down 0.3. So this is more of an aggressive forecast, right? They are definitely expecting for this to drop. They are expecting this CPI to come down. That is the forecast as of now. So how do we take that, right? Well, if it doesn't drop as much as that forecast, is there a negative reaction? Are they sort of setting us up to see a negative reaction? I'm not sure, right? I'm not going to try to guess that. But that is that's definitely something to realize, that today the forecast has definitely declined quite a bit. It is one of the larger forecast drops that we have seen. All right, so that's just something to realize, right? Forecast 4.1, previous was 4.9. We will see what it comes in at today. That is our CPI year over year. All right, our core, they are expecting core to stay, pretty elevated, right? Core has not dropped. Food and energy, the inflation, the CPI has not dropped much on the core CPI. That is the excluding food and energy. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Excluding food and energy. So they're expecting the excluding food and energy, the core CPI, to stay pretty flat. So 5.3 forecast. Previous forecast was 5.5, 5.3 this time around. We'll see what that comes in at. But you can see the pretty drastic drop here in the CPI, right? And then the core is still pretty maintaining pretty well. So if we go to the month over month CPI, 0.2, right? Month over month. So they are expecting a lower than previous, 0.4, 0.2. These are month over months. These are just sort of short-term trends, right? So 0.2 on the CPI. On the core, it is 0.4. This has pretty much been the consistent forecast since the beginning of this year. 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. So I'm not taking much away from here, right? I'm not showing you this because we can try to predict something. That's not what I do. That's not who I am. I'm not a predictor. I'm not someone that tries to predict what's going to happen in the market. I trade the intraday action. Whatever the market shows me, I try to use a strategy to, short-term trade the market, and that's really what I focus on. And focusing on that has brought me success, right? And I don't try to deviate from what has worked. So I'm not going to try to predict what happens here. I'm just sharing with you the forecasts because I think maybe it's good for us to know the forecasts, and maybe some of you are interested in that. But for me, I'm more interested in just watching what the market does, right? The intraday action, where can I take advantage of the intraday action? Where can I trade it, right? That's what I'm more interested in. But that's our forecast. Year over year, 4.1. Core, 5.3. Month over month, 0.2. Core month over month, 0.4. All right? Those are our forecasts this morning. We'll go ahead and relook at this after everything has come out. All right? So let's go into the NASDAQ. Let's go into what happened yesterday. Why did the NASDAQ go up so much, right? What caused the squeeze yesterday afternoon? Well, I mean, technically, it makes a lot of sense, right? Technically, it makes a lot of sense. Guys, let's not get into the argument of why, if inflation's up or down, it's a waste of your time. Waste of your time, waste of my time. None of us know what the CPI is going to be. If you just battle with someone online about, prices aren't going up, prices are coming down, all you're doing is wasting your time, wasting your energy. It's a pointless debate. So, NASDAQ, right? Why did the NASDAQ squeeze yesterday afternoon? Well, it's because it broke over this triple top, right? After the NASDAQ broke over this triple top that we were watching around that 14,860, the NASDAQ had a very aggressive squeeze to the upside. Intraday, maybe some short covering into CPI as you get this push, right? Why do we push into this type of event? I don't try to answer those questions, right? I have no interest in answering why this move happened, right? Why? I don't care. I don't care why. What I care is that we broke over the previous highs, that we squeezed above them, and that you were able to make money on this move. Made some nice trades on this move, right? The swing trades were killing it. TSM was great. NVIDIA was great. Microsoft was great. Tesla was able to creep above near 250. But a nice move on the NASDAQ, very clean upside after we broke above the triple top, right? That was clean. If we go to the 5-minute chart, we can see right here, you can see we were sort of creeping at that 14,860 level right there intraday, and this candle right here basically just unleashed the beast, right? You guys can see right here, after we broke that 860 level right here, this candle at around 140 yesterday, this unleashed the beast, right? This was our supply. You can see we sat right below it pretty much all afternoon, and then we sort of unleashed the beast here, and from that point, it was just probably a big short covering rally, and some people just trading the momentum to the upside. So that was yesterday, right? We held. When we go to the ES, you'll see the key demand that we talked about that held perfectly. We talked about that 43.50 yesterday, and it held perfectly. So that is another reason why the market went up. So now we got to zoom out here, right? We got to zoom out here because you have, I mean, if you look at this weekly chart, right? Once again, I'll just, I'll do a little self-promotion here. I don't care. You guys know, if you've been in this live stream since last year, last October, last year, November, December, all this time, all I said was to buy stocks, and this has been nothing but incredible for me, for any of you that have purchased stocks for your long-term portfolio. I'm up 63% on my long-term shares this year, and it's pretty incredible to see where the NASDAQ has come back, and this is just another reason why you buy the dip on shares and you invest in your long-term. But that's besides the point. I don't want to piss too many people off this morning. So this morning, right, look at where the NASDAQ is trading into here. Now, this is a pretty important level, right? So this high here is, I'm actually going to push this up. I'm going to put another line at, what is this? 260. Okay, I'm going to put another line at 260. So you guys can see right here, you have a major weekly rejection here back in January of 2022, right? You guys see this weekly candle right here. Another weekly rejection right here, which led to downside, right? You push back to the upside. You push back into 15,200, 15,270, right? Weekly chart major rejection right here, followed by another weekly chart major rejection. So this has been your recent run, right? And this is where your NASDAQ is currently sitting. It is currently sitting pretty damn close to this 15.2, right, to 15.260 weekly chart supply right here. So does this interest me in a rejection? Yes, of course it does, right? Of course it does. This is a very, very tough spot, I think, for the NASDAQ. You can see these two rejections right here back in 2022. Would it make sense to see some pullback off that level? Yes, absolutely, right? Even though the market has been very strong, and you can see over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can call it 6 weeks, we have been nothing but straight up over the last 6 weeks, right into this 15.2, 15.270 supply level. Now, do these technicals matter today with CPI? I'm unsure about that, right? If we get a negative CPI read, right, if the market does move lower on CPI, then, this would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense to see a rejection off this 15.2 area on the NASDAQ futures, right? Very interesting, major weekly chart level here. If you are to break above this 15.2 area right here on the weekly, I can't say that I wouldn't. I would not be surprised to see it start to get towards all-time highs, right? If we actually get a strong move above this 15.2 on the weekly chart, and this starts to actually set up above 15.2, if you just look at the chart, there is little to nothing here to the left of this chart. Maybe some drama at 15.7, but after that, I mean, you're pretty much at all-time highs. So that is just crazy for me to even say. But the technicals, they show it, right? If you break above these 15.2 supply on the weekly chart, that is a pretty wild breakout, in my opinion. So you can see right here, why is my weekly chart different than my daily chart? Huh. Something's wrong here. Why is my weekly chart different than my daily chart? Why is this 15.7? Is anyone else seeing this? Is that did they not update the weekly chart on the NASDAQ? Is that oh, that would really mess me up here. This is contract adjusted. That is very strange. That is very strange. What's the QQQ weekly showing? 370. Daily. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry about this. That is very bizarre. Okay, so this is up at 370 on the Qs. Huh. Interesting. All right, well, that throws a little bit of a... Yeah, the weekly seems wrong here. Hold on a second. What? That's crazy to me that the weekly chart would show something different than... I'm going to Trading View. Yeah, I adjusted for the contract rollover. So if Trading View shows on the weekly the 15.2 level as well. What does it show on the daily? It shows 15.2 as well. Huh. That's a little bit strange to me. Okay. Well, I don't have a clear answer. I think I'm going to have to use the QQQ here. Change uncheck the futures, adjust setting back from yesterday. It does nothing. Weekly Antilles does not show adjusted contracts. Wow. Okay. So then we're going to look at the daily chart today. We're looking at the daily chart. And we're going to have to zoom out now. Sorry about that, guys. I'm really not sure why that's the case. Oh, and now the daily shows 15.2 because this is not contract adjusted. This is a disaster. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. All right. Well, I'm just going to run with the QQQ here, guys. That's what I'm going to run with. I'm going to run with the QQQ for us today because that's a disaster to me. I'm not going to trust that. So let's go to the Qs. Let's go to the Qs. Let's go to the SPY. Let's do it that way because that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm not sure exactly which one to watch. So QQQ, right? Let's just focus on this right here. You guys see this little double top here on the daily, this 370? That's going to be big, right? That's going to be big. 370, right? On the QQQ. So let's just focus on this today. You guys can see here on the daily chart, you have this top here, you have this top here, right? So 370 on the QQQ is going to be your major level. Now, you do have some upside to move into that 370. You got about 10 points on the Qs. So watch out for that 370 on the QQQ. All right. This morning, let's go to... I'm starting to think that the 370 on the QQQ is equal to the 15... is equal to this 15.2 on the NASDAQ futures. That's what I'm starting to think here. This 15.2 is equal to... I'm all screwed up this morning now, man. I'm all screwed up now. I'm all screwed up. So I'm going to have to stick on the Qs. So if we look at the Qs, we look at the daily chart here, we can definitely see that that 370 level is going to be major. Do we push into that 370 level on CPI? That's going to be something I watch right here. 370, 370. Until there, right? Until that 370 level, really not much, right? Rejection, rejection. Until then, really not much here until that 370 level, right? So if we sort of zoom in, let's look at the short-term movement here on the NASDAQ or the QQQ, and let's just sort of get an idea of if we push higher, where do we watch? If we push lower, where do we watch? If we push higher, I would watch that 370 level, right? If the QQQ pops today, if we move to the upside, obviously watch that 370 level on the daily chart that we just pointed out, right? That's going to be big. Now, on the downside on the Qs, we need to watch that breakout point from yesterday, right? We need to watch the breakout point from yesterday, right? The breakout point from yesterday is 357.50, right? I already adjusted the contract. It's not that. I don't know what that's all about. So you guys can see, okay, so that's, okay, so the 15.7 on the NASDAQ is, got it. The 15.7 on the NASDAQ is 370 on the Qs, right? Okay, that's what we're going to look at, right? The 15.7 on the NASDAQ right here is the 370 on the Qs. That seems right. So right here, Qs 370, right? That's your big Qs level. On the NASDAQ, big level 15.7, 15.750. You guys can see it right there, all right? That makes a lot of sense. That, I think, explains it. That weekly chart's messed up. So if we go to the QQQ and we look short term, right, where do we have to hold for this market to sort of maintain its bullish action in the short term? In my opinion, if you get a pullback, you need to hold this previous triple top, right? If there's any pullback on CPI today, you need to hold the breakout point that was set up yesterday, right? After breaking this 357.50 yesterday, you guys saw that big squeeze. If we get pullback on CPI today, you are watching this right here, this 357.50 area. If you break back below that 357.50 area, right here, if you break back below this triple top and you start to see this turn into rejections today, let's say today, tomorrow, whenever, right? If you start to see this set up as a rejection, that could be your sort of flip in momentum here. So that is the major QQQ level, in my opinion, if we get any pullback, right? 357.50. This is your previous triple top from last week. You are trading above it. If you trade back into it, look to see if it holds as demand or look to see if it turns into a rejection, right? That is going to be very major here on the QQQ. On the NASDAQ, that equals the 14,860 level that we watched yesterday, right? 14,860, 14,860, and 14,860, right? So you can see these previous triple tops, right? If we get pullbacks today, that is where you look to see if demand can hold, right? If demand can hold here, then you might be able to take another long entry on a nice pullback here. If you fall back below this previous triple top, then I think you start to see a momentum shift, right? Under that 14,860. So that's your key pullback level on the QQQ and the NASDAQ. 14,860 on the NQ, and on the QQQ, it's 357.50. All right. To the upside, the next major level is up here at 370, and on the NASDAQ, the next major level is up at 15.7, right? So a pretty major, pretty interesting room on the upside still here on the daily chart on the NASDAQ. So if I go to the 10-year, if I look at the NASDAQ here, there's definitely some room here still, right? You can see the next major double top rejection is all the way up here at 15,750. There's definitely still room here if the market likes what it sees today. And you can also see that 14,800 area we just pointed out is also, right, this little previous low right here. So if we were to drag across this green box here from this previous low, this is back in October of 2021, right? Look at where that sort of lines up. It lines up right here, right? Right where we broke out of yesterday. So that's very key to pay attention to as well. All right, so let's now go to the SPY. Let's go to the ES. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's take a look at what this SPY is showing us. So if we zoom out and we look at the daily chart on the SPY, on the ES futures, we can see that our next double top, our next major level of supply steps up right here at 44.60. You guys can see right here, right? 44.60, 44.60, and 44.60. So that is a very key level above on the ES futures, 44.60, right? We can see, look at all these reactions. Support, rejections, rejections. This is going to be a major level here on the ES right up here at 44.60. So that's definitely something we need to watch today if we trade into that level. Now to the downside, right? You can see yesterday, what did we talk about yesterday in the live stream? We said that if the ES futures holds above 43.50, then we cannot look bearish, right? We cannot look bearish if the ES futures holds 43.50. We talked about that because that was the previous rejection point, right? And if we zoom out, there was more of them, right? You can see this was your previous rejection point right here, 43.50. You can see right here, rejections here, right? Rejections here, and rejections close to it right here. We held that on Friday, and yesterday we came into the market and we held the 43.50 all morning, right? You guys saw on the 5-minute chart. Look at this hold all morning at 43.50. Look at that demand step up right there all morning yesterday. So that led to your upside. Breaking that 43.70 caused the big move, and now we are here this morning before CPI. So if we get pullbacks today, we're watching the 43.70, right, on a pullback. If we get deeper, we're watching the 43.50, right? That could be your next deep pullback. And then you're watching that 43.30 weekly demand down here. So 43.70, 43.30 on the downside. And to the upside, you are watching that major daily chart supply up here at 44.8, 44.6, 44.8, all in this general area here, up here at this supply. All right. Let's go to the SPY real quick before we have to get to the CPI action. Here's the SPY, right? Yesterday, we said if SPY holds above 430, we cannot look too short, right? And you guys saw all morning yesterday, we just maintained above that 430 level. We maintained above this triple top, right? Turning a previous triple top into a demand yesterday, right here. We just maintained above a previous triple top. That is a break and retest. And you cannot look too short the market if the technicals are showing you higher highs and higher lows, right? So previous highs, new lows above the previous highs, break and retest. We maintained that all day, and that is why I think you got that squeeze yesterday. Now, we got about 40 seconds. If we see downside here on the SPY, look for that 432. If we see further downside, look for that 430 today, okay? We're about to see a reaction here on CPI. Let's get ready for it. I'm going to keep the SPY chart up here. If you guys want to press that like button, that would be much appreciated. We got CPI coming out in 20 seconds. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys are positioned okay for this. I have some longs into this. I also have a hedge short, so I'm pretty neutral on what will happen here. I do have positions open, but I am pretty I'm pretty neutral on the risk. So either way, I'm pretty sure I'll end up green, depending on the move. We'll see. I need either a big move to the downside or I need a big move here. So I have some longs, and then I have an SPX short to protect that long position. So it looks like little back and forth right now. Not much action. Okay, a little bit of upside there. Yeah, I got my TSM call, my Tesla call, and my, what else do I have? TSM, Tesla, and Shopify. All right, so let's see what the news is. We got a little bit of upside, a little bit of downside. Really not much. Okay, CPI year over year was 4%, so it came in lower than that aggressive 4.1. So it did come in lower. That's good. CPI year over year, 4%. The core was within expectations. Month over month was down. I'll go ahead and pull up the, and the core month over month was as expected. So core came in as expected. CPI year over year was 4% versus the 4.1. So let me go ahead and pop that up real quick. We'll keep the chart up here as well. Don't want you to lose sight of that. So let's go ahead and refresh these pages here. So 4%, there's your CPI number, right? That was your forecast, so it came down quite a bit. It came down 0.9, right? CPI 4%, forecast was 4.1. And you can see, market's liking it a little bit. Not much, but market's liking it a little bit. If we refresh the core, right, you guys can see core came in as expected, as it seems like it always does, just sort of stays flat. So we'll see how that sort of leads at flat core CPI. Month over month was lower than expected, 0.1 versus an expectation of 0.2. And then I'm not going to pull up what's the other one? Oh, core month over month. core month over month was 0.4 versus 0.4. So as expected. So core CPI as expected, and CPI, including food and energy, was slightly lower. All right. So that's your CPI this morning. Yeah, I mean, an okay move. I wouldn't say this is much of anything, to be quite honest. An okay move. NASDAQ getting a little bit more love here, it seems. All right, a little bit more love on the NQ. Let's look at what's Tesla doing. Okay, got that Tesla swing. That looks good. TSM swing. What's Shop doing? Shop, love that. Who's... got some banging above me. So let's keep an eye on that SPY. Right? It's not that convincing of an upside move yet, to be quite honest. That is not that convincing of an upside move just yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Keep me updated on how this looks. But I want to go ahead and jump into some individual stocks now. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and check out some individual setups that I would be watching today. So today I enter the day with a Tesla swing trade, right? I have a Tesla swing trade. I've continued to hold this as Tesla has sort of consolidated here over the last 2 days, right? I am not concerned, and Tesla never broke back below that 244 level that we talked about yesterday. So you guys can see that 244 level held on Friday. We held again all day yesterday. So I said to the group, right, as long as we're over 244 on Tesla, there's no reason to be getting panicked out of this position yet. This morning, we pushed above 250, and it seems we're trying to hold that 250. So today on Tesla, right, here's the key. You have to see 250 maintain. If Tesla loses 250, this is going to reverse, right? We saw how tough it was for Tesla to get over 250 yesterday. It was very tough on Friday of last week as well. If you lose this momentum on Tesla, if you get back under 250, then this is likely going to reverse. That is something I would be watching today. It's over 250 for now, but that is going to be your line in the sand today on Tesla. If you get a 250 pullback and you start to see demand step up and you see the market staying strong, that could be your nice long entry off a 250 retest as well. So all eyes on 250 today, in my opinion. Keep an eye on that level on Tesla. If you maintain above 250, I would be comfortable maintaining this swing trade position. All right. NVIDIA. So you guys know I've been sort of screaming about this NVIDIA hourly downtrend break the last few days. Well, it happened beautifully, and congratulations to you guys that caught this with me. This was awesome, right? So NVIDIA, I took longs on this last Friday, swinging them into next week, right? So NVIDIA, it got a nice move on Friday, sort of rejected. Yesterday, I did get out of this trade, so I am no longer in this trade. I did get out of it for a very small loss because I just wanted to start to de-risk my portfolio. So I'm a little upset I did that. I'm a little upset I did the smart thing. Sometimes it hurts to do the smart thing, but I had too many swing trades on into this event today, and I told myself, let's not get into this mess. Let's just de-risk. We'll hold the things that we really like, and we'll get rid of the things we're still questionable about. But today, I'm a little bit more interested now, right? Today, I told you guys yesterday, if we hold above this 395, right, on NVIDIA, this could set up your next upside move. So if we get more upside on the market today, I am absolutely looking for 395 right here to turn into a demand and to cause further upside on NVIDIA. Right now, you can see this morning, we just held that 395 level pretty much perfectly. If NVIDIA maintains over 395, I am definitely going to be looking to take swing trades here on NVIDIA. You guys can see right here, 395, 395, 395. This morning, you are very clearly holding above 395 as of now. All right, so let's see if we can maintain above that 395. If we can maintain above this level, then I am absolutely looking for further upside. I may want to wait for a little 400 break to get a little bit more confident, but that 395 hold is very important. I would absolutely be watching that today. All right. TSM, I mean, just textbook, man, from start to finish. Congratulations on this one. This was a sexy call out. I'm very happy with this trade. Crushed this thing. So still in TSM this morning. It looks really good this morning. It hit our target, right? If you guys remember from back, if you're part of the live stream, you should remember these things. I don't know if everyone does, but if you guys remember from back in May, we were watching this bull flag here with a target of 110, right? And this was just absolutely gorgeous. So major weekly bull flag on TSM at 83, right to the previous retest level, and the target was 110, this weekly low here, and we have officially pretty much hit that target. Once again, right, TSM gave you another bull flag opportunity right here at 98, right? Previous highs, bull flag, break and retest, right? Again, the exact same beautiful break and retest setup for more upside. Just absolutely money. So congrats on this one, guys. I think most of you are probably in this TSM trade with me. I'm probably going to look to be a profit taker on the remainder today. This is probably going to be up 100%, maybe more. So looking really good here. Watch this 109, 110 area. This is going to be major here. So if we go to the weekly chart, you guys can see. Watch this 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple bottom here on the weekly at 110, 108. That's going to be big. That might be tough for TSM to get through. So just be careful of that level there. I would absolutely be somewhat of a profit taker in this zone and maybe hold a runner if you really want to hold it out. All right. Let's go to Microsoft. This was another one that we said, right? Remember the sneaky long? Anyone remember the sneaky long? I'm going to start putting like words next to these things so that we remember. It's like little context clues. On last week, we said, watch out for the sneaky long on Microsoft. What a sexy trade this was. So you guys can see Microsoft 323 demand. That held beautifully. Bull flag breakout. Yesterday, we held 327. Beautiful upside push, right? And so today, here's what you're watching. You're watching this 323. 332. What am I, dyslexic? Jesus. You're watching this 332, maybe this 330, like 332, 331 area. You're watching these previous lows, right? So right here, right here, all this area here. You're watching to see if this turns into support. And if it does, right? If it does, this could possibly be setting up another bull flag here at 323 for an upside push into 338, right? So watch this 332 level today. If you get upside here on the market, right, you can see this morning you are trying to maintain right there at 332, right? So if you maintain this 332 here, this could sort of sneak its way back up into 338, right? The Nasdaq's at new yearly highs, right? Why is Microsoft not there? That was sort of my reasoning for this. Microsoft, I think if you hold this 332, will eventually try for this high at 338 again. So I would keep an eye on that one today. If Microsoft tries to hold this 332, that could be a nice little long into 338. Stop loss under that 332. Definitely watching that one today. All right. Netflix has been a monster. Netflix has just continued to stair step to the upside, right? Look at this hourly chart on Netflix. Just a beautiful stair step along the way to the upside. So right here, right? Netflix, quadruple bottom at 400, broke out of it. Previous highs. What is the previous highs turning into? New support, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again. So what do we look for now? All right, we look for this same action here to be replicated here, right? And we look to long at the previous highs. So we look to long at 426, 427, right? We look to see if this previous high turns into demand. If it does, right, you look for this type of formation. You look to long at the retest and try to get the upside move, right? So Netflix continues to do the stair-stepping upside, which consists of breaks and retests. And in this type of formation, you do not want to long here. You do not want to long here, right? You are longing at the retest demand, right? So Netflix, right? Keep an eye on this 427 level, right? This is that previous high from Friday. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see 5-minute chart, you got some previous highs here, anywhere between like this 427 and 426 area. If you turn these previous highs into demand, right, then you are looking for upside off that level. And I'm actually going to turn that green because it deserves to be green because it is now demand. So if Netflix holds above that 426, 427 level, right, and you go out to the 4-hour chart, actually, you know what, let's go weekly, right? Remember we talked about this one. Not much resistance until 460. This looks like it's on a pretty healthy grind still, right? So keep an eye on Netflix today over 427. AMD is at a monster level again, right? This is that 133 level we talked about. This is a weekly chart rejection level. So right here on AMD, you guys can see this is back from February 7th of 2022. We had a nasty rejection at 133. And if we go to the 5-minute, right, look at NVIDIA or look at AMD at this 133 level, right? You can see we previously had rejections here right around this, what is the high here? 132. So we had previous rejections at 132, and we have that weekly rejection at 133. So if we go to the 30-minute chart now, what are we looking for? Today, we are looking to see, let me go to 132. Today, we are looking to see, does AMD break 133? Does it turn it into support? If it does, I would look for more upside, right? 133. So keep an eye on that 133 on AMD. That's a big weekly chart level. If you break above that, look for that to turn into support. Let me just point out real quick while I have your guys' attention, right, what a break and retest looks like and how you play this for swing trades, right? So look at this yesterday, right? So yesterday I posted this in the group. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this and show you guys what this looked like intraday. These are the things you need to pay attention to intraday to get good entries, right? You have to pay attention to stocks that are pulling back. You can't just pay attention to stocks that are going straight up. If you continue to just pay attention to stocks that go straight up, you're probably going to be chasing and probably going to lose. So right here, yesterday at 1:48 p.m., I posted to the group, AMD creating an interesting break and retest here from Friday highs. A nice swing trade watch. I don't want to put any more risk on personally, but a nice idea, right? If you guys had an idea, right, if you had some risk you're willing to take, right, look at this break and retest. Break, retest, previous highs, turning into an all-day demand, right? We held that demand all day, right? For like 4 hours, we just maintained above that level. This is where you have to look to enter. You cannot ask someone online or ask yourself to enter AMD now, right? You can't look to enter AMD now, right? You have to be the person that looks for it when it's at the retest, before it looks good, before everyone's heads or before everyone's talking about it, right? Before you're going to get tempted to be like, oh, should I enter now? All right? You need to enter when it's not comfortable, when you're unsure of the hold, right? This is where the risk reward is at its greatest, and this is where your trade entries need to be, right? Break and retest, right? And you can see the result of that. Of course, swinging it into CPI is a little bit questionable. That's why I didn't do it. So I can't say it's a perfect trade because there were some risks involved with CPI, but nonetheless, an absolutely perfect break and retest, and you can see the result. These are the mindset changes and the entry points that you need to look for as a trader, rather than, right, let's say coming into the live stream today and saying, should I buy AMD now? No, right? Unless you look for a short-term scalp over 133, of course. All right. Let's go Shopify because I absolutely love this. This is looking really hot. I love it, man. I love it. I'm a little bit upset with my timing, right? This didn't happen last week. If this would have happened last week, I'd be a very rich man right now. But I am definitely looking to attack this thing with all my might today. This is Shopify. You know she bit me last week. You also know she gave me back a lot of my money. So I'm pretty much, I've actually almost made back all of the money that I gave back on Wednesday of last week. This bull flag is absolutely still here, right? It is absolutely still here. And if anything, it is now looking its best, right? It is now looking at its best on Shopify. If we go to the 4-hour chart, you can see, right? This pullback last week sort of hit me, right? This pullback really gave me a little reality check here, but I did not lose confidence in this setup. I continued to hold. I continued to look for more upside. This is not a revenge trade by any means. I gained upside on this move. I made some money on this move yesterday. We are up 100 and something % on our swings from yesterday. And you can see this is the confirmation move that you wanted to see, right? Right here. 65 right there. 65 right here. And look at what Shopify is doing at 65 this morning, right? Look at how perfect this 65 hold is on Shopify. That looks fantastic. And I am absolutely going to be targeting this 65 hold on Shopify today. And yeah, this looks fantastic. I would absolutely be watching this today. 65, if it holds above that level, this is a strong 4-hour bull flag breakout. On the weekly chart, you have little to no resistance here until I would say up into the 70s and up into the 78s, 75s. So absolutely a watch today. Probably the one that I target the most. Very nice upside off 65 today. A perfect hold above this 4-hour high on Shopify. Look at this 4-hour high hold that's setting up right now. Absolutely a watch. All right. I am going to end this stream by looking at the futures one more time. The futures are continuing to sort of push higher here. Let's go ahead and jump into the ES real quick. The ES is approaching, it's like at this 4,400 zone. This is a tough one this morning because I really don't have any levels here. There's really nothing here. I would say watch that Psych 4,400. Right? I think the Psych 4,400 is going to be key. I would watch this little pre-market high right here at this 4,402. See if it holds above that. I would absolutely watch this little pre-market low here. If you break that low from CPI, that's going to flip this market as well. So I'd watch 4,400, 4,402 here on ES. I'd watch this low from pre-market before CPI at 43.87. And on the SPY, that low is right around that 433, say 433.75 right there. I'd make sure you're watching this. And then I'd watch this little pre-market high right here. Yeah, I'd say 435 is a level I'd watch. This Psych 435 right here. Keep an eye on that 435. If you hold above that 435, I'd say more upside. If you break back under, I'd say you move back to that 433.80. All right? All right, guys. I'm going to go head out to the group. Looking really good this morning. TSM swing trade looking great. Tesla, awesome. Shopify, awesome. The SPX puts that I bought as a hedge are probably going to end red. But that's okay. These swing trades should offset those losses. And let's see what happens intraday. If there was ever a day that the market reverses intraday, that there's some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Oh man, I'm looking for this word and I can't think about it. I lost my mind. If there's ever a day for something crazy to happen, it's today. So be careful, be safe, stay on your toes. If you're intraday trading, take profits. Don't just think we're going to the moon, right? Take profits on any moves that you get. I'm definitely going to be a profit taker on some of my swings today to be safe. We got PPI tomorrow. We got FOMC tomorrow. That's bigger than today. So there's still some stuff in the way. Take your wins. Move on to the next day. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. If you want to trade live with me every single day, down in the description. If you want to get the charts that we talk about every day here, in the description it says get technicals. We couldn't even get 1,000 likes with 2,000 people in here. Damn. Damn. I remember the word. If there's ever a day to get bamboozled, that was the word I was looking for. Bamboozled. If there was ever a day for a bamboozle, it's today. So be careful out there. Shenanigans, bamboozle, all those words. Thank you guys again. Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you could as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for PPI and FOMC in the afternoon. All right, guys. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.